So about a week ago, I started showcasing a lot of websites and resources for Destiny 2. It ended up being a mountain of tools that I wanted to show and too much for one video. So I categorized them, and in part 1, I covered item and weapon investigation, things like how to find exactly which guns roll with what perks, comparing what you already have and figuring out what the best one is, and staying up to date with what's new every time there's a DLC. Part 2 then showcased some unique ways to look at your progress, and I'm talking like Crucible, for example. Am I improving from one season to the next? How's my matchmaking going? Am I better with some guns over others, and things like that. Now we're on to part 3, and this is where I want to show you some resources for armor sets, mapping, and events, as well as a new site that's growing really fast. Some of the pieces today continue to show just how amazing the Destiny community is. So to get right into it, I said I would mention armor sets, and there's a website dedicated to exactly that. It can be found at DestinySets.com, and this is your go-to shop every time there's a new season. A job very well done by Josh and Jakosaur. I think Patty Cakes is already covering this one a little bit more in depth, so I'll just show you the main page, which is where I am. I've got year 4 highlighted. I'm under activities, and it shows you exactly what pieces you can get for strikes. So a hunter helmet, for example, if I click on it, it'll show me what it looks like. Titan gauntlets, click on it, shows me what it looks like. I can then use some of these links down here to get a little bit more information, or you can even read the lore from Ishtar Collective, which is one of the ones that I mentioned at the very beginning of the video, if that tickles your fancy. If you hit connect to Bungie and sign in on your account, it'll actually highlight everything that you've obtained so far and keep whatever you don't have as dark. Again, a nice clean user interface to see whatever you can get within the new season, or if there's updates made inside of a season. Not too dissimilar from the light.gg thing. In the part 2 video, I mentioned a website called Braytech, and it has a ton of stuff that you can go through, but there's one thing I wanted to mention within the topics covered here, and that's their mapping tools. You go up to that top bar, you hit maps, and then you can choose what you want to look at. Right now we're on Europa. I can zoom all the way out. I can move this around, zoom all the way in, see where the region chests are, the lost sectors, any information like that. I just find it super handy, especially as a content creator, and thought I'd point it out to you guys. The second website under this category would be WhereIsXur. This is a reliable source for finding his location each weekend. Great work by Karalee and DamnitBennett on this one. There's not a whole lot to say other than the fact that they have a countdown and a video showing you exactly how to get there. So it's definitely one that I open up every weekend. The third one would be TodayInDestiny. This one has some pretty neat features, like creating these live on-the-go checklists, so to speak, for when you're in a play session. But there's actually one main thing I want to highlight for my PvP folks out there, and that is all around focus farming. I now check this website every single day real quick, just so I can see what the lost sectors are, so I know which exotics are dropping. Thank you, Kelsey and JPDeathBlade. You guys rock. I expand the 2 lost sectors in the top left corner, see what the modifiers and reward is. In this case, it's the exotic arms on the 1250. Over here on Labyrinth, it's the exotic legs at 1280. And bingo, you search a syrupy guide on how to do these things on YouTube and you're set. You can focus farm all you want, and some of these can get down to like 3 minutes a run. It's pretty crazy. Last one, but certainly not least in this category, is Charlemagne. I also don't know if I said that right. I have no clue if this website gets as much view time as the others, but I have to call it out. Water Polo Trev and Tor Kallon. Again, not sure if I pronounced your names right. You have the most amazing bot. Pretty much every Destiny Discord that I'm in uses this. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. This site has some really neat stuff, you guys, so I recommend taking a peek. But outside of using this to learn how to use that bot within our community Discord, I'll highlight that if I'm VOD reviewing a high-end tournament, for example, I like to have the Crucible map on hand, and this is exactly where you get it from. These are created by a gentleman named Relict, and they're incredible. Category, what are we, 6? Guides and general information. First off, you've got Reddit. I used to have so many bookmarks, or actually I still have them, all linking to some clutch community posts on Crucible Playbook. If you aren't getting this by now, so much information comes directly from the community, and this was one place for PvP specific. It's recently shut down now, as I believe the owners are moving on with their lives regarding Destiny, or maybe they already had in the past, and they were just tired of having to filter a metric shit ton of toxicity that none of us really ever had to see. So all good there. It's unfortunate for us, but there are 2 places brave enough to take these tasks on. I want you to go to Reddit and follow CrucibleGuideBook and Crucible Sherpa. These are run by RealSeatooth and Ascendant Nomad, respectively, alongside their teams. These 2 subreddits are going to be excellent sources of information going forward. On a similar token, our Discords. I know I plug my Discord in every video because we're growing really fast right now, and I'm loving the community that we're building in there and getting to hang out with all of you. But it's true, Discords are full of amazing community members who love to help each other. So if you feel like you don't have anyone to play with or to talk to, or if you have questions and you don't know who the heck to ask, a Discord is an excellent place to start. I feel really lucky to hang out with everyone in ours, and if you want to join, we welcome you with open arms. Third is a bit of a gem for newer players especially. Blueberries.gg is becoming a giant when it comes to info and articles. This is spearheaded by a gentleman named Prim, and his intent was first to help brand new people just understand Destiny. There are so many things we take for granted when it comes to knowledge that his site started to provide in concise written fashion. Since then, it's begun to really expand, so I'll highlight a few spots. So on the front page here, right out the gate, you want to look at an exotic tier list of all of the weapons. You want to know what the Beyond Light weapons are. There's an article. You want to see which weapons are being retired. There's an article. Scrolling down, I really want to bring attention to anyone who's new at this game. This button right here, All Things Destiny 2 Start Here, will bring you to the beginner's guide. And I really got to give it to Rick because he has done a wonderful job here. This is a giant explanation of the game. It basically starts you off right out the gate saying, hey, you're going to want to get a few apps. Then you keep going and it talks about things that we take for granted. Like, what are all of these? Well, these are planets. What's the difference between the planets? Why are some planets here? Why are some planets no longer here? A lot of questions that brand new players would have are answered in all of Rick's articles. So if you have new friends that are starting at this game and you don't feel like walking through every single piece of information, send them to this website. Now back at the top, just click on weapons, for example, and it's going to give you that core information, but it also typically has a lot of links. For example, if I'm going down reading about the weapons, here's another link to a different article. This is the Destiny 2 exotic tier list of weapons. Keep going. What are the exotic quests with video guides and how to get them? Maybe you care more about the armor. Click on that. You can figure out what all the armor sets look like, every single armor set. And if they're missing one, they typically label it with ongoing because they have community members working on this. It's truly fantastic. Maybe you're curious about how people level up super fast all the time. Well, this explains it right there for you. What's the soft cap, the powerful cap, the pinnacle cap? Maybe you're into cosmetics, things like the Eververse. Go down here, it'll actually show you what the Eververse has already sold in the past and what the Eververse is going to sell in the future, so you can figure out what you want to spend your bright dust on if you're short or anything like that. And then every article or page that has information like this, it's all filterable. Now I came back to the main page because I didn't actually finish scrolling down. Here you have other quick links to some of those pages as well as more information. What are all of the exotic catalysts and how do I get to them? What's the loot in Deepstone Crypt? Let's look at that one. For anyone who doesn't raid a lot, they won't know this kind of stuff. Okay, what can I get from the first encounter? And now I'm bringing you to the bottom of that main page where it's essentially just an archive of information, but it's really, really handy. Maybe you're wondering what a lot of content creators use for their mouse, their sensitivity, right? I made a whole video on this. So let's click on that guy. And I should note that this doesn't mean he's tracking every single person's life right now and understands when they switch out a mouse pad or a mouse or something like that. Going down here, you've got people like Glad, Astacross. D2 isn't an esport, but a lot of popular content creators are on here that you would see on Twitch, for example. If you're curious what mouse, maybe their DPI, sensitivity, anything like that, you can see it right here. It's truly a wonderful one-stop shop for anyone new with a couple hidden gems, even for people who are quite experienced. So I definitely recommend bookmarking this one. The conclusion brings me to two final honorable mentions. D2 symbols. Nathan, if you're watching this, you've enabled some of the worst and the best names in the kill feed. For anyone looking to spice things up on Steam, this is how you copy paste symbols into your name. Lastly would be the Menagerie calculator. Rest in peace, you were my best friend. This is one of my favorite activities ever dropped from Bungie, and it's people from the community who make websites like this one that make your life a million times easier. Now that wraps up my 3 video series on all of the useful tools and websites that can help you essentially master information in Destiny 2. If you found any of it helpful, I'd really appreciate you dropping some feedback, whether it's by leaving a like so other people can find the video, or commenting things mentioning websites I may have missed and helping raise awareness around them. I'll see you in my next video because I'm very excited to share the next set of PvP tips, in my opinion, around the Titan exotics within Stasis. Take care.